Hey everyone, PB here, and welcome back to my top review episodes. To give you a little info about me, I love playing video games. My favorite genre of video games are JRPGs. My favorite series are Final Fantasy, The Tales of, and Star Ocean. Now I've played the Personas, Dragon Quest, Arc the Lad, Xenosagas, Gradia, and several other series-based games, as well as the one-offs like Natural Doctrine, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Resonance of Fate, and more. I've decided to make this video based solely on my top 3 favorite series, but in the future I may add in some of these other titles. Comment below with what titles you would like to see added. Without further ado, let's get into the top 5 easiest platinum trophies out of the Final Fantasy Tales of and Star Ocean series. Number 5. Final Fantasy XIII-2 is the second installment of this Final Fantasy trilogy, which tells the story of the events that happened after Origin was defeated and Cocoon fell from the sky. Lightning mysteriously disappears, and her sister Sarah is the only one who remembers her presence after Cocoon was saved. While Sarah is staying at a beach resort, it is suddenly attacked and she is saved by Noel and Mog, who were sent by Lightning from Valhalla to protect her. The three find a dimensional rift and decide to use it to traverse through time and space. As your quest to save Lightning continues, you find that if you change the future, you will change the past. All the trophies can be acquired on the easiest setting except for one, which you can just change the difficulty to normal whenever you're attempting to get that trophy. The game has a feature that allows you to rewind time and replay all the areas you've been to before, so there's no possible way to miss anything in this game. The only way to really mess yourself up is if you don't use the Crystarium growth system correctly when increasing your character's stats. The only time this may become an issue is when you are going for the Fair Fighting trophy, where you must beat a secret super boss on normal difficulty. There are 160 fragments you have to locate throughout the game, and there are only a few that are hidden quite well. As you collect fragments in the game, your character will learn new abilities which will make it easier to collect the rest of the collectibles from each level. There are a few trophies that you will have to grind for, like getting 100 preemptive battles, but they'll only take maybe an hour for each one to complete. If you use a guide, you can easily get Platinum Trophy for this game in under 60 hours with just one playthrough. Number 4. Star Ocean First Departure R is the first game in the series and second in the Star Ocean timeline. The game starts with you patrolling your town with the help of your 2 friends. You soon learn that a mysterious disease is turning people into stone and is ravaging the lands. One of your friends unfortunately contracts this disease, so you all travel to the top of a mountain, which rumor has it that there is a flower that can heal his condition. When you reach the top, you are met by 2 space travelers who teleport you all into their ship when they see that your friend's condition worsens. As the story progresses, you learn that you must travel to the past in order to save everyone in the future. There are several missable trophies for this game, however they mainly pertain to recruiting specific characters. There are 9 optional characters, which you can only choose up to 4 of them for each playthrough. To get all the trophies, you'll need to play through the game at least 3 times. You can speedrun the game in under 3 hours, and you only have to get to the final save point of the game to unlock your current party's voice gallery. If you keep a save file for your game right before you recruit your first optional character, you can reload the save and start a new run from this point, so you don't have to completely start from the beginning. Some characters have specific requirements in order to be recruited, such as whether or not there are specific people in your team or you have done certain quests or not. There really isn't anything hard about this game if you know the tricks on how to power level your character, as well as using the item creation system. You can get unlimited money and craft some of the best equipment early on in the game. Even though you have to play through the game 3 times, if you use a guide, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to platinum this game in under 50 hours. Number 3. Tales of Arise is the 17th main entry in the series and is the most recent Tales game that has been released. Your planet was invaded 300 years ago by powerful beings who enslaved all the people into 5 different realms. Each realm is now controlled by a powerful lord tasked to drain the astral energy from people by any means necessary in order to win a competition to become the next reigning sovereign. You are a nameless, faceless slave who has lost all his memories and feels no pain. You rescue a woman from a train heist and assist her in her quest to take down the 5 lords of the different realms to acquire their elemental cores in order to eradicate the curse she bears, which prevents anyone from touching her. As the story unfolds, you'll witness the true cruelties of the various ways one can be oppressed. Tales of Arise has no missable trophies, and the game has many features that will practically hold your hand to help you find some of the quote-unquote hidden items, collectibles, and quests. The only real problem you'll run into this game is money management. Battles don't reward you with money, so you'll need to farm and sell loot you collect throughout your travels in order to purchase anything. There are only a few trophies which you'll need to grind for, which are reaching max level, forging 100 different weapons, and unlocking 400 skills. The forging equipment will take the most time as you will need to farm certain monsters for the drops in order to get the items needed to craft these weapons, as well as having enough money to produce it. There are a few collectible trophies as well, which are actually pretty easy to obtain. If you check to see the requirements for unlocking some of your skill boards, you'll notice that some of them are actually guiding you to where you need to be in order to find these valuable items. This is one of, if not the only, Tales of game which you can casually play through the game and then grab all the trophies later without needing to start a new game, making it very possible to complete in just 50 hours. Number 2. Final Fantasy VIII was originally released on the PS1, and it wasn't until 20 years later that it was remastered and re-released on the PS4 with some added cheats to help speedrun the game. You are a student at a facility called Garden who becomes a mercenary seed leader and is tasked to support a small rebellion group in order to take down the president. Your mission evolves as a sorceress reveals herself as being the true mastermind, and she strikes you down by her magic. As the story unfolds, you can't help but wonder if Squall is dead. Final Fantasy VIII took a different approach with the game mechanics, which people either love or hate. Bosses and enemies scale to your level, and your stats are determined by the quantity and type of magic spells you have junctioned to them. In short, the game penalizes you for leveling up and for using your magic. They also introduced a card game you can play, which allows you to basically break the game within the first 30 minutes. The missable achievements are going to be gathering all the Guardian Forces, playing card games, completing side quests, and collecting items. Almost every Guardian Force in the game is missable. You'll need to either attain them by drawing them from forced encounters and boss battles, finding them in dungeons, or by using specific items to summon them. The only Guardian Force that may be a challenge to get is Doom Train, since he requires gathering multiple items in order to summon him. Other than that, the rest are pretty simple to get, and some can be drawn from the optional bosses in the final castle. The only missable item you'll need to keep an eye out for before you reach the end of Disc 3 is a Timber Maniacs magazine that's on a white siege ship where you try to find alone after the garden battle. Everything else can wait and be done before crashing into Lunatic Pandora with the Ragnarok. As long as you didn't miss any of these missable trophies, you can platinum this game in about 40 hours and in a single playthrough. Also, let me know in the comments below whether or not you think Squall is dead in the game. Before we move on to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1. Final Fantasy VII was originally released in 1997 on the PlayStation and is the reason I fell in love with JRPGs in the first place. The game has a large variety of plot twists and character developments that keeps you engaged from the time you jump off the train in Midgar all the way till you explore the depth of the Northern Crater. The story begins with Shinra Corporation sucking up the planet's energy in order to sustain a futuristic cyberpunk city. You are a mercenary who is helping a resistance group called Avalanche blow up the Shinra's Mako reactors in order to save the planet. As your fight brings you to the doorsteps of the huge corporation, you find out that there is an even bigger evil lurking in the world. This game was super easy for me to platinum since I have practically beaten this game a couple dozen times and know about almost every found glitch, so I might be extremely biased to the simplicity of this game. The only trophy I found hard to get was Best Bromance, which is when you go on a date with Barrett at the Golden Saucer. The reason this one is hard is because in order to choose Barrett, you have to be a complete dick to your female friends and never have them in your party. I personally find it hard to be mean to Tifa. She's your childhood friend, which you made a promise to in order to be there for her whenever she is in need. The only time I really use a strategy guide for this game is when I'm trying to get the correct dress for Cloud to be chosen by the Dawn, and also how to get the Alexander Materia, because I always forget which path to choose when snowboarding down the slope to get as close as possible to the hot springs. Other than that, you can easily platinum this game in under 40 hours and in one playthrough. Well, that is it, folks. These are the top 5 easiest platinum trophies to get out of the Final Fantasy, Tales of, and Star Ocean series. Let me know in the comments below, what games did you find easiest to platinum out of these series? And while you're down there, don't forget to smash that like button and to subscribe. Also, Don't forget to check out some of my other videos that I have on my channel. Till then, see you next time, my friends.